Wonderful.
Hello, everybody. What's going on? It's Sonia, Son, and Angie here for another episode of the Heart Flick Chicks podcast. And we are here today to recap episode 2 of season 2 of The Last of Us, entitled, someone please tell me because I didn't write it down.
Through the valley.
Okay, do the valley. Okay,
The valley.
so
I was about to say the Valley of the Dead for some reason. Sorry. That would have been a good one too. Just saying.
let's get through this.
Yeah, let's go. So, do we want
I
to
don't want
read?
to. I don't want to do. I don't want to do these anymore.
We're done. No more.
I need a
The
table to
Last of
flip.
Us.
I know we need the table to flip. We should do that live on the podcast. Yeah.
Okay, do we want to maybe let's just recap what we saw in episode 1 so we can start this ridiculous episode. Here we go. The Last of Us. Episode 1 recap just very quickly. We see Joel and Ellie 5 years into the future with their group of peeps, including his brother, his sister-in-law, their child. They've built a community around these survivors. And on the opposite side, we see a group of the Resurrection Fireflies, namely a character named Abby, who has been kind of on the search for Joel for quite some time, and she is a little bit delulu. Her group is kind of like really kind of hoping that they can talk her out of this, as we see.
Yeah,
Um, and so
she's
here we
definitely out.
are.
She's definitely. You can tell that she's definitely out to settle a score, like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
need
she said
revenge.
New characters, Dina being one, who, you know, this community tries to sort of move on through this world. And we see them kind of like having like a festive moment. Ellie, gets a little bit like, has a moment, wakes up with a hangover in this new episode 2, which is the end of the season. Thank you very much.
The end
Hartford
of the
Chicks
series.
Podcast.
The end of the
Please pass this
series.
on. What'd you
thank you
say?
and good
The end
night.
of the. The end of the series.
It's the end of the series.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you and good night. All right. So we see, uh, we see the Fireflies still trying to like do their
Yeah.
search. They're sending Abby out. Um, they're
They
like
have.
kind of
They have.
like
Well, yeah.
They're all holed up in some kind of some.
cabin or something. It seems. What
No,
is
well, it's not
cabin?
really a cabin. It looks kind of like maybe like a school or a.
A winery. Let's just say that. No, I'm
Okay,
joking.
well,
I mean, it's like on this big hill,
yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
this
So
big like chateau that they're in. And they were sleeping and they wake up and they see that the weather is very unfavorable, right? It's
Yeah.
yeah,
like a
unfavorable. And
snowstorm
Indeed.
and it's
and now
freezing.
it's clear as day because it's daytime. When they first
Right,
got there, it was
Yeah.
nighttime, so they couldn't really
right.
see.
So now they see like what it actually looks like outside, but they still are on a mission, right? Their mission is with the lead of Abby, which seems very much that the majority of this group does not want to do what she
Doesn't,
wants to
doesn't
do.
seem like it. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's on a mission to go get Joel because we find out obviously these are like the kind of the leftover or misfit fireflies that Joel pretty much wiped out at the end of season 1 when they basically he got Ellie to the hospital because she was supposed to save mankind, but they were going to kill her because they needed her to create this cure to, help the whole thing. But of course, he loves Ellie, he wants to save her, and he went to this whole hospital and killed all these fireflies, including this one doctor that he just shot in the head without even thinking about it. And it turns out that this doctor was Abby's father. So she's been out for revenge, looking for this guy, and they know, or they think, or they know that he's in this like compound where this whole town has been created, and they're trying to figure out they and his and her Owen, which is one of the other fireflies, kind of did a survey of the place. And he's like, there's four entrances. That's the only places in or out. It's heavily guarded. They have guns. They have dogs. They have, it's gonna be basically saying it's gonna be hard to get it, but get in. But she's just adamant about, well, we got to figure out a plan to do it. And blah, blah. Owen says that I do have a plan, but let's kind of wait on it. I'm still trying to work it out. Turns out he doesn't have a plan. His plan is to talk Abby out of doing
To
this thing.
to convince Delulu Abbey
Yeah. To like
to
forget about
stop
this
it.
whole thing because
Yeah.
it's just like suicide. It's basically a suicide mission for all of them. It's only five of them.
Right.
And they have this whole town of, So
And they have a compound boy. Like
yeah.
they have
Yeah, I mean they're
lots of weapons. They as we see later, in this super epic battle, which was like that was the coolest part
can we
of
talk
Yes.
about this battle?
the battle.
Let's say first that, after Abby does his whole
Talk
speech
about
and
anything else except for the battle. I don't think
a-
I can handle it.
after this whole speech that Abby was kind of saying about, we have to figure out a plan because we have to do this, whatever. She's she goes out to kind of go on watch
She
to
said this. She says, I'm gonna take the next watch, and she takes it upon herself to kind of go
so
out.
she goes out and stuff and realizes that it's
She's
crazy, like cold,
crazy.
whatever. She's watching, and then while she's out there, she sees two people on horseback, and it is Ellie and I don't know the other.
Well, while she's out there, she she tumbled down the mountain, a
Well,
hill.
she sees them first. She sees them on horseback. She sees two people on horseback, and
Mhm.
it was Ellie and her friend from the place. They were out on like a patrol or for scavenge.
Yeah, Jesse.
Yeah,
Jesse. And
yeah.
so she tries to get closer, like to get a closer look and try to, you know, and she falls down this little hill. And again, it's all snowy and everything. So she slides down this hill. And at the bottom of the hill, it's a bunch of bodies. It pans over and you see tons of bodies like buried in the snow.
You see a hand sticking out of the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then and then
Dead
you see
hand.
the camera pans back and you see a bunch of bodies and everything. And then she looks over at some point and she sees one of the cordyceps in the like frozen in the thing. And we heard in the beginning of the episode that there in another place that there was a similar scene where it turned out because in episode one we already saw the start of the cordyceps getting smart.
Yeah.
Ellie saw one.
Yeah, they're definitely evolving.
Yeah, they're evolving, right? So we heard about some scene where they had like a bunch of them in the snow, like buried in the snow, and then there was more underneath that came out that were obviously alive and came out and started. So they were
They're
on high
unalive.
alert.
Unalive. They're unalive.
They're unalive, yes.
Yeah.
They want so the town is on high alert and because they know they're out there and there seems to be a bunch out there. So Abby slides down this snowy little hill. She sees these bodies, and within like a few seconds, you see the snow start moving and the bodies start moving, and all these other ones come out
That was wild.
and start chasing. I would have died.
I kept hearing like the rumbling. I thought that it was when she rolled down the hill that there was going to be like an avalanche or something.
Evelyn, I was thinking that for a second too.
I
Yeah.
thought that for a little, and then yeah, then they showed the
Well,
body.
they're using each other as insulation.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they are to keep warm and to to not, completely pass away, I
Like
guess.
die out. Yeah.
But yeah, they and then I saw that coming up and I was like, oh, good. We're in the second episode. They're already doing this big horde of undead, you know, and it was cool. I don't know how she did it running in
I
the
don't know.
snow too.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Not just run, right. Not just running in the
Like if it's
snow.
not packed in snow, then that's hard. If it's really, really, really packed in, then yeah, maybe you could,
Also,
run.
like, I'm
But
sorry, like, there was something in my brain that was just like, oh my God, your cap does not look like, why aren't you pulling your hat down over
yeah,
your
she was
ears?
wait,
Like,
I was too cold for her too. I was like, she gotta be free. She was already out in the cold for a long time.
yeah,
See, this was me. I was already in the cold for a good amount of time before she
Yeah.
fell upon this discovery. And she rolled down the hill, which wasn't really a hill. It was like between a hill and a mountain. It was like pretty big. She rolled
yeah.
down
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Um,
Which, by the way, apparently Abby is afraid of heights in the game, and they kind of switched that up
oh,
in the show.
okay. Um,
Fun fact.
They
so
did.
she, probably already kind of a little disoriented and banged up a little from rolling down the thing. And then she kind of has to crawl out a little bit from
Yes.
this kind of hole that these
So
creatures are
dead.
creating because as they start to move and shift around, she does seem like she starts to sink a
Yeah.
little. And I thought it was at first, I thought it was like a sinkhole type thing where this is just a lot of snow on top of like maybe between two mountain ridges
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and in the middle, and it was shifting and she was gonna fall through more. I thought that for a minute. But then when she
right.
was starting to get out and then you see the others, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what they were talking about in the beginning when they're
Yeah.
keeping warm under here. So now they're coming out and all that. But that
And
run,
there was
man,
it
but
wasn't
I
even
mean,
like 20 of them. It
no,
was like
no, no. It
100.
was like
Hundred.
yeah, hundreds,
Yeah, I was
hundreds.
like, this girl does not have a chance. And then she's like, she gets like, she finds a place, but she has to go through the fence. So she goes through the fence, and they're all
Yeah,
at
with
the
the
fence, pushing down the fence. I mean, any one of them could have like, I mean, she had to keep her body super like
It
small
was
to try to
it
like
was so
crawl.
intense.
She
Yes.
was
very
crawling. She was
intense.
body crawling out of this thing. I was like, this chick ain't gonna make it. She ain't gonna make it. And no
Yeah.
hold.
I was
Who
I was like,
comes to
well,
save her?
I'm pretty sure I was thinking I'm pretty sure she's gonna make it because I don't see her. I mean, I don't know what's happening. Again, we'll preface all of this by saying we never played the game, so we don't know what goes on or what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I assume that she is going to be around for a while, so I
Yeah.
didn't necessarily think that they were gonna like kill her off, but they really made us
They
think
tried. They
that
tried.
she was not gonna make it
I
because
mean, that
every
was an intense
yeah,
scene.
every step, every like second was like even more and more and more intense.
Yeah.
From
Between
the
her
running,
and between
she
Jackson.
climbed up that wall to get on the ladder, and one of them grabbed her, and then she had to get over, and then she went over to do the fit.
Yeah.
Well, that was a scene, and between her and Jackson scene, also, again.
Yeah.
So, Jackson also kind of like, he's in the battle. At some point he has to get out and like chase this one like super gigantic undead, unalive rather. What is it? I don't know. Thing. And like he just looks like one of those Marvel, what is that Marvel character? It just looked
Like
crazy. It looked
yeah,
crazy and he
Fantastic
looked
Four.
huge. He had one of those like gas tank things. He kept like,
Oh, Tommy,
trying
you're
to
talking
Tommy,
about.
Tommy.
Tommy tried to hose him down. He tried everything.
Well, they
I did
tried.
not think that Tommy was gonna make it.
Yeah,
That would have
I
been
didn't think so
I
insane.
either.
thought that maybe it was so they you see the person that's on watch on top of the tower on top of the compound
On the roofs, yeah.
looking over the ridge or whatever. It's you can hardly see. It's snowing and storming like crazy, but you do see the horde start coming towards them, like bum rush.
Ramming themselves
Yeah, ramming into the
into
thing, bum
the
rushing
door.
the compound,
Yeah.
and they're all using everything that they can to keep them away, to get rid of as many as they can. And yeah, they break through that bigger one. I believe they call it a bloater.
Oh,
Comes through kind of the crowd of the others
that is
It
kind
and
of how I
rams it
felt.
rams
right
into
into
the
like nothing, into the wall and comes through and just goes through the, oh man. I was like, this whole town's gonna be destroyed. And I
Yeah.
thought either Tommy or Maria was gonna
Maria.
go.
That's what I thought too.
But I was thinking Tommy because he saved her, was
Right.
going after her, and then it
And
kind of
he
derailed
at
his
first I thought it was Maria, but
attention.
when he did that, I said, "Oh, he's gonna die."
Yeah, and I
He's
said,
gonna
oh,
die for sure. Like
right.
it just seemed like a martyr moment for me. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he's
Yeah.
definitely, but so in some amazing like turn of fate, the thing died right as he ran out of
Of the
fuel.
yeah.
Like his tank ran out from the flamethrower. Yeah.
So there was that moment and flash to the other side of this world, and you see Abby going through the same thing, except Abby
Hmm.
gets saved by
Yeah.
none other than our man Joel, the very man that she's been looking for and on search for. So when she hears Dina calling him Joel, there was
She
a
knows.
Yeah.
a light in her, like, oh my God. And then
Interesting.
she wanted to grab her gun, but she didn't have her gun because, like,
It
all that she had been through,
right. She dropped. Hmm.
it fell, right? She lost it. So here's Joel just assuming that this is just
Some random.
thinking,
Yeah.
this is a rando. I got to save her because Joel is Joel. And
Well,
he,
and she also said because they were trying to get back to
What?
their town.
yeah.
She said, "I'm just a few like miles this way. I have friends there, and
Yeah, they were too far.
we have a place, and we'll be safe there." And he's like,
And
"Do they have
truthfully,
guns?" Said, "Do they
yeah,
have guns?"
that
She said,
was,
"Yes." Said, "Great." And she hops on the horse with them, and they head out into this storm, away from the creatures.
yeah,
To the
in that
place.
moment, Joel didn't have, like, he couldn't think.
He didn't have any
No, he
He
has
had
no
no
idea. He has
choice.
no
choice.
idea.
He had no choice but to trust this stranger.
Yeah. He had no choice. Oh my God.
So he gets there and there are the friends and they're like, okay, what is going on here? And they realize that this is Joel.
She said they start helping her, like putting a blanket over and warm, and she tells them like take care of them.
Take care of them. Yeah.
And after a little while, she says, "Yeah, that's Joel." And
And
they
then
look and
we
they
also
know,
see that Dina notices on one of their backpacks that was
yeah,
left on the floor the emblem of the Fireflies. And so she was like already starting to get cautious. Um, but there was no time for her to like say
yeah,
the signal to Joel or anything.
yeah.
Um, so they were caught in this place with,
Ambush pretty much.
yeah.
And
So
they
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 trust
take
Dina to
they
put her to
drug
sleep.
right. They put her to sleep and then, Abby shoots Joel in the knee
I was
and he's like, that's it. He can't move. He's there. And that's when he finds out who she is.
gives the whole
And
speech
he gives the
about
whole speech, finds out who she is. You killed my father. And how many fireflies did you kill? And she said it in the last episode too, that when she finds him, yes, she wants to kill him, but she wants to do it slow. She wants him to suffer. And she makes sure that he suffers. She makes sure he suffers. She takes a golf club and bashes him in the shot knee. I don't know how many times.
I love that he did still tell her, like, just fucking do it. Like,
Yeah. Well,
just
I mean, at a
like
certain point,
stop
it's like
talking.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
like,
well, after
I mean,
so
she hit him so hard that the thing broke.
yeah.
The
Well,
golf club
after
broke.
a few times, they pan over and we see Ellie and Jesse. They're in another like a barn or
they're
something.
in a 7-Eleven, a weed 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
because
They
Eugene
they
had
had
used
to
it as his sort of like, you
they had
know,
to hold up in a place too because they were out in the storm too,
Yeah.
so they had to go away. And um, once they hear they get a call on the they're trying to call on the radio, and and because the town is trying to reach them too, and she hears that
they
have you
can't
have
find
you
him.
heard from Joel and Dina? Said they
Yeah.
haven't responded or whatever, so they go out. Because
Oh yeah.
then Ellie's just like, we have to find him. They go on and try to find, and at some, after a little while, Ellie finds this place and she goes in with her gun and she's ready to like, and she sees um Abby like just punching the shit out of Joe. He's like fucked up. And she tries to stop it, but they grab her and they hold her. And Owen tells Abby, because they're all like, they don't want her to keep doing this,
Right.
these fireflies. Owen tells her, just end it. And she takes the golf club that already broke, so it's like a sharp edge on the end, and
In in front of Ellie.
right in front of Ellie.
Yeah.
Break.
Impales him.
R.I.P. Joel.
On. Now, I will say I think I'm gonna try to end all these episodes with some inside information.
Okay.
All right. Because you guys know David played the game, so he knows all about this.
Right.
And the fucker didn't tell me. He knew it.
Yeah. It
But
was not a surprise to most
but
gamers. They knew it.
I'm happy that he didn't because I got to experience the show
Right.
it's supposed to be. But yeah, so we're watching it, and when it gets to that part, I'm literally stunned because didn't think that
They
was gonna
can't kill
happen.
him, right?
And
Yeah.
my jaw dropped, and I look over at him, and he's just sitting there like this, like because he knew. He says, "So this is what happened exactly
In
in
the game.
the second part of the game,
Of the game, yeah.
and the whole rest of the game is Ellie tracking down the rest of the fireflies and fucking them up. So that's what we're gonna see."
I have
So
no doubt about that at all because Ellie, at the end of the day, she pulls out that
the
golf
golf
club that's impaled in Joel and holds him. And it was the sweetest, saddest moment.
And when they after they did it and they left right before they left and she was there crying and watching it, she said, "I'm gonna kill you." She said it like three, four, five
Every
times.
single one of you. That's what she said.
yeah.
Every single one of you. Um,
So
So we're gonna see that warrior Ellie come out in the next, I guess, if this show continues, we'll keep seeing her.
it will.
Well, I I I'm I'm definitely down to see like Ellie kicking ass and all this stuff. And I think it's gonna be great. But we also have to remember that in episode one, they skipped 5 years later. So we still might see Joel. They might be going
Yeah,
back.
they'll do that.
They might be going back because we really don't know everything that happened within those 5 years. Obviously, something happened. Well, we know for the most part what happened, why Joel and Ellie are not really speaking, but I'm sure at some point they're gonna go back and kind of go
And they'll
over,
show some different things, yeah.
yeah, show some specific incidents that happened and significant incidents that happened uh within that time. So I do still think that at some point in this season, or even the next season if they have one, that we're gonna see Joel again.
Yeah,
But
I agree. I agree.
definitely a sad moment, an
There's so
unexpected
many,
moment.
I was saying before we got on this chat here that there's so many memes and things,
Yeah.
but when I see a lot of them that's have like kind of two people in this on the screen, and one person above them says someone who never played the game, and they're watching that scene, and then they see them watching, they're like crying. And then the next person, someone who played the game and knows exactly what's going to happen in season two, and they're just sitting there like, I was like, that was me last night.
Well, I do know some gamers who knew what was going to happen, but it's an emotional scene for
Yes.
people. So, I guess it just depends. Like you know it's happening, and it just kind of depends on how you're sort of rewatching this. So yeah.
And I'll say one more
Right.
thing. There are some people that think that Joel is the villain here. Think about this.
Because
He
he
could have
stopped the Fireflies from creating the cure that could have helped
saved the world, right?
humanity
Right. So there are
and
some people
letting
who
them
think
take Ellie, right?
that he's the bad guy and that the Fireflies are the good guys.
Right.
And technically, Abby is, I mean, because Joel's very beloved and we adore his character, we kind of hate her, but she was just avenging her. I mean, Ellie would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Joel did it for his daughter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's true.
So
No, very
Oh
true.
yeah, we don't know his whole
so we're gonna
story yet.
see a lot of this
That's
this
true.
season. We're gonna see Ellie fucking up the Fireflies, but we're gonna also see a lot of kind of back and forth with our feelings about the characters, I think.
Yeah.
Like, was that person really a bad person? They did something bad we didn't like, but so
Right. Can I just share something that I read about the end song? So the end song is also called Through the Valley. It's a Sean James folk song, and it's sung by the voice of Ellie in the game, who happens to also be the actress, the mother
yeah,
in
from the first
season
season.
one, Ashley Johnson.
Ashley Johnson.
So that song is actually an homage to the game because it's also played in the game. So they ended it with that song as well and named the episode Through the Valley. So Through the Valley of Death.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks again for joining us. Again, we are recapping every episode of season 2 of The Last of Us. So make sure you check us out next week for the next recap. This is the Heartflick Chicks podcast. We are here on YouTube. Follow us, subscribe to our channel, and you can follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and TikTok. Sonia, Sandra, Angie signing off. Until next time. Sleep well, Papi Pedro. Sleep well. Peace, love, and horror. Bye.
That's the end.